Hello, Ryan.
Hello, Mark. How are you?
I'm all right. Yes, thank you.
Listen, Mark, I don't know whether it's a bit short notice, but I wondered if you fancied meeting up for that coffee today. For
Hello. What's the date?
I've got to get the kids. No, they'll be a nightmare. Okay, it's not a problem. It was a bit short notice. We'll try and do something next week, maybe.
Yeah, that'd be lovely, Ryan. Yeah.
Is that all right? Well, that really didn't go according to plan. I probably should have phoned him a bit earlier, to be honest. That chap I was talking to, his name is Mark. He's an army veteran, and he has got a second generation Nissan Leaf. He's had first generation Nissan Leaf as well, and a number of his family drive them. So he seemed like quite an interesting chap to have a chat to, not just about this car, but also about some other bits and pieces that he said could help other veterans out. So that's something to look forward to in the future. But for now, it's kind of knocked my day a little bit. I don't actually know what to talk about now today because I had planned it all along. So I need to have a think. I'll get back to you. Oh, an email for a free coffee. That'll help me think, and I've come ready prepared. It's amazing what a free coffee and a bit of cake can do for the old grey matter. I've sussed it. There's 3 stories I've been looking at over the last few days that I've wanted to make a video out of in their own right. Unfortunately, there just hasn't quite been enough information there to fill a whole video. So today is a perfect opportunity to tell you about them, tell you why I'm interested in them, and just make a single video covering all 3. And the very first one, and the thing that I've kind of been following for a while, is Volvo. Now, Volvo, they just keep reinventing themselves, don't they? They're like the Craig David of the, is that a good analogy? How about Kylie Minogue of the automotive industry? God, I'll tell you what, I'm giving away some of my my musical tastes here. Make your own one up. They just keep reinventing themselves. They've developed and launched a kind of a new company, still Volvo, but a new name called Polestar. Now they seem to be really pressing ahead in China at the moment, and so are an awful lot of companies. China is a massive market for EVs, and it's just been given an even bigger boost for Western companies with all these new tax updates that they've had. And I think if you read between the lines, it would seem that Tesla have really been driving that, so much so they're even going to open their own factory over there. But anyway, that's an aside. Polestar. The Polestar 1 is about to be launched at the Beijing Motor Show. And I have to say, it looks absolutely incredible. The styling, I think they've got a really, really good mix between European styling and American styling. It's got that kind of muscle car feel to it with the elegance of a European car. I think it looks stunning. Now, the first one they're going to release is a hybrid. Hybrid is probably not my thing. Normally, I don't normally talk about hybrids because I like the pure EV. I like to see where technology is going. I see hybrids as a bit of a stopgap at the moment, but that's not to say that they don't suit some people. And this one is definitely going to suit a lot of people. It's a 600 horsepower car, so it's no slouch. The battery part of it will propel it, and they're saying for over 90 miles. Well, that's as good as some of the original EVs, battery EVs that we've seen in the past. That's an incredible range. Even if it doesn't get that full range, it's going to be a decent range to have just on pure battery. And then obviously the internal combustion engine will kick in and it will work from there. But that's only phase 1. Once this hybrid is launched, there's 2 and 3 on the cards, and they are going to be full battery electric vehicles. If they can take that styling, which clearly they are, and take the power and everything else and put it in that car, they're onto an absolute winner. Only downside at the moment is I think that Polestar 1 is looking at retailing for something like $150,000, which is way out of most of our range. But if it's going to come down in price over time and as they produce more, of course it's going to start coming down in price. And perhaps some of that technology will start filtering down into Volvo as well. It'll be incredible. So that was my first story. Really excited about that. I see that as another really good mainstream manufacturer really trying to push ahead with EVs and develop something new and something that looks really, really nice. The next story is around charging, and specifically wireless charging. There seems to be a bit of a drive with it at the moment. It's something that I dismissed quite early on as being totally inefficient, far too expensive to do, and I really didn't see it as something that was happening, because it's hard enough trying to get a common charging standard across plug-in cars as it is, let alone trying to put a plate under a car that can take the electricity from a road, and every manufacturer put the same protocols in. It seemed like too much hassle to me, and I didn't think it would work. But it's not stopping a number of companies ploughing forward with it. And maybe we will start seeing it. There's a company in Sweden at the moment called E-Road Arlanda. I think it's what it's called. It's a pilot scheme. They've laid, I think, 2 kilometres of road with this charging structure, mechanism, inductive, whatever, in the road to see if it's feasible. And it seems to be working. Now, there's, I think, some varying opinions on whether it's the best way. However you look at it, inductive charging isn't the most efficient. You do lose an awful lot of that energy just through that induction process. It's very expensive. There's certainly, I think, better ways of doing it than they're trying to do, but that is vastly more expensive. Perhaps when the prices come down, it will work. On top of that, we've seen in America, there's a new charging hub for a bus station. They've got electric buses. They've put charging pads in their bus depot, and while that bus sits for 5 minutes between its routes, it can collect enough charge in order to complete its next route before it comes back to the depot and sits on it again. So that seems to be, for me, a really sensible use of that technology. Now, whether that's cost effective, I don't know, but companies are building it, people are buying it. Perhaps that is a good option, because what else do you do? Well, I guess you get out and you plug your bus in. I don't know. I don't know the answer. What I do know is that the amount of companies that seem to be investing in this technology, I think we're going to see some of it somewhere, whether it's for buses and bus routes, or whether we see it in lane 1 of a motorway where we can all charge our EVs in the future. Who knows? I doubt the latter, but I wouldn't be surprised at the former. I think let's not write anything off. It could be a really good option. So definitely some movement and some changes on the charging front, which is great. Which leads me into the next bit of this story, which is about when we charge our cars using RFID cards, apps, even the tap to pay with our contactless cards. We don't like it. We don't want it. Now, we've all been pressing towards, please, can we use our bank cards with contactless payment? Just tap it on the side. That would be great. Well, there's a company that have gone one step further. This is a company that are working with Daimler, BMW, Volkswagen, to name a number of other companies. There's people like Bosch have got involved as well. And it's all about a charging protocol that once you've registered your car to that network, every time you'll plug your car in, it automatically recognises your car. Now, the company that are branding it are called Hubject. They are calling it Plug and Charge. At the moment, I think there's only one car available. That's one of the smart cars that will do it. But for me, that is a really, really good idea, a really good way of pushing the technology beyond even what we're hoping for at the moment. As I say, contactless payment would be nice. Get rid of all these RFID cards and apps. That'd be fantastic. But to be able to just go to any car park in any place and plug my car in and have an account set up somewhere that takes the payment as and when, and I don't have to think any more about it once it's set up, that would be absolutely perfect. And that would make owning an EV seamless as far as I'm concerned. So I'm hoping that technology does take off. And there seems to be an awful lot of the big manufacturers involved, enough that you could say, yeah, if they start putting it in their cars, there's no reason why other companies won't feel obliged to follow suit and put that protocol in their car as well. So that is a couple of charging stories that I feel are really pushing things forward and pushing things beyond anything that we're kind of hoping for at the moment. So good news all round. And finally, Tesla. You can't help but notice that there's been a few issues with the Model 3 production. Their Gigafactory in Fairmont in California got shut down. Now, obviously we know this is a new product. We know Tesla really is a very new company. And what they've done is incredible for the driving EV sales forward. But they are obviously having some problems with the car. Elon Musk has spent years and years and years trying to drive automation in his factories forward and trying to make his Gigafactories the most automated, most modern, most future-proof factories he possibly can. But that potentially comes at a cost of jobs. Now, whether you believe it or not, he has said that part of the reason for this shutdown recently is because that automation process isn't working properly. It's slowing things down and it's not giving the quality and the finish that they want. The only way they can do that is through people. And as a result, they're going to start employing more people. Now, whether that's a media spin or not, I don't know. But to come out and say something like that, I think is really interesting, because whilst on one hand, automation and robots, you kind of take that human element out of it. And in a way, you'd probably get a better car because the consistency should be absolutely perfect. But what this shows is actually it does need that human touch every so often, just to make sure things are going properly. And you look at some of the really, really high-end luxury brands that are still handcrafted and handmade. Are we saying that those cars aren't great because of it? No, I think if you employ the right people in the right job with the right skills, then you get a far superior product. But there has to still be a certain amount of automation. So I just thought it was a bit of a kind of a nice story, because it shows that no matter how far we want to push ahead and push to the future, even with somebody who is determined to do that, at some point you've got to stop, take a step back and accept that actually we need a reasonable amount of human interaction to make a product for humans. Do that and I think you get a more rounded product. And I think hopefully Tesla have hit a point where they've learnt from that and they'll just step back now and everything will settle down. And I think we're already seeing numbers starting to rise again. And that Model 3, when it eventually arrives here in the UK, I'm really looking forward to seeing. And that's it for today. The sun's still shining outside, and anyone who lives in the UK will know that never lasts for long. So I'm going to get out, cut the grass, wash the car, enjoy the sunshine, have a nice afternoon. So that's the end of the video. Hopefully you've enjoyed it today. If you have, remember to like and share. And if you're not doing so already, subscribe to the channel. And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at EV Opinion. See you again soon. Take care.